Good evening, this is Deary with JNZ's News. Tonight a series of events took place. First off, Mr. Mills is wanted for questioning. Usually wears a tie, average height, always keeping it sophisticated, loves the Ottawa Senators and New York Giants. Next up, we're going to hand it off to our brilliant young scientists. But remember, always keep it sophisticated.
Oh, hey! I was just doing some scientific stuff outside. Oh yeah, density, that's what we're doing. Okay, so right now, we're going to be making a 5-layer density tower. We have oil, dish soap, molasses, a little bit of milk, roughly a tablespoon, and some water. I colored it with blue dye so that it's more clear. Okay, so I think, personally, since molasses is the most thick, that it's going to sink right to the bottom and it's going to stay at the bottom through the duration of the experiment. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Make sure you have permission to do this before doing it. Just like that. Might as well do 1.5 tablespoons. Okay. Pour it in very lightly as to not to mix with the soap. That didn't work. Give it a second to settle. As you can see, it's rising higher than the, it's just resting on the dish soap, and then the dish soap is resting on the milk, and which are all resting on the molasses. So now we're going to move to our last ingredient in our nice experiment. Gonna do about, again, another tablespoon of oil, and we're just gonna gently pour that in. And done. Nice. Now if we just give that a couple seconds to settle, I think we'll be pretty happy with the results. Alright. So there we go. Just as predicted. The molasses is the heaviest, has the most density, so it's going to be at the bottom. Then it goes milk, then dish soap, then our colored water, and then our oil. Density.
So today we'll be demonstrating our viscosity race. Our racers are water, milk, oil, and maple syrup. And the way we'll be measuring it is by a stopwatch. And just to make sure none of them have an advantage, all fluids will be poured at the same angle and all of them have the same amount. So let's begin with water. 1, 2, 3, go. So, the next one will be milk. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Our third one is maple syrup. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Stop. And our last one is oil. 1, 2, 3, go. Stop. So, from our experiment, we discovered that water has the lowest viscosity, then milk, then oil, then maple syrup. Water had the time of 41 milliseconds, Milk was 50 milliseconds, oil was 5.62 milliseconds, and maple syrup was 22.39 milliseconds.
So we took it to the streets to find the public's point of view on viscosity and density. Let's find out.
Viscosity is how fast something can flow.
And do you know what density is?
Density is how much mass there is in a particular volume.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all we have for this episode. Tune in next week for another episode. We'd like to give a big thank you to our best teacher, Mr. Mills. And remember, keep it sophisticated.